Hi, I'm live. I'm live. It's alive. Welcome to another episode of the Chrissie Mayr podcast. We are on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, and SoundCloud. And if you're listening to us right now on iTunes, please go ahead and leave a 5-star review. I appreciate the reviews so much. Really quickly, I want to shout out a couple of stand-up dates. There's a lot going on. There's a lot happening. This is exciting. Let me make sure I'm live over here on Rockfin. All right, killer. Yeah, got some stand-up dates coming up this Thursday, next Thursday. Actually, that's going to be, looking at the calendar, the 15th. Wow, it's like mid-July already. July 15th. Thursday, I'm going to be performing at not Uncle Vinny's. Oh my God, I got to get it together. Get it together, Chrissy. I'm performing at the Stress Factory in Bridgeport, Connecticut next Thursday. Stress Factory, Bridgeport, Connecticut. I got to write it down so I'll remember. And then going to be in the Jersey Shore, the Point Pleasant Beach area, Uncle Vinny's, July 17th. It'll be Comedians of the Compound. I think it's Uncle Vinny / the East Brunswick Mall. But like, this is all on my website. You can find all these tickets on my website. And then July 20th, that following Tuesday, I'll be headlining Jinx on the Boardwalk. Really nice place, right on the boardwalk there at Point Pleasant Beach. So check me out there headlining all by myself on July 20th. Then I'm heading to New Orleans, August 13th and 14th. Those shows, because I just put the ticket links in my calendar here. The Comedy House in New Orleans, that's on Fulton Street. So that's going to be 4 shows, August 13th and 14th. I'll be at the Comedy House in New Orleans. Really excited for that. I haven't been to New Orleans in couple of years. So that'll be good. A lot of drinking outside. And then going to be back to Vegas with Comedians of the Compound. We're going to be performing at the Plaza. There's a theater in that hotel down there. It's like down on the strip near I think Fremont Street. So it's like an old Vegas feel. So Comedians of the Compound, I think that's going to be 4 shows as well, September 10th and 11th. Yeah, 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. I know that a few tickets are still available for that. I don't know if the weekend passes are sold out. They might be. And then I'll be back to Texas, back to Dallas, performing at Hyenas in Dallas on September 17th and 18th. I believe that is 4 shows as well. And those tickets are on my website as well. So yeah, got a lot of stuff going on. And also I wanted to announce that this Monday, that's in 2 days, I'm going to be performing. I'm going to be appearing on Megyn Kelly's podcast. And that's coming out on Monday. We recorded it yesterday. And I saw some people like in my DMs and in my messages like, oh, be careful. Like Megyn Kelly's going to get you. But I don't worry. It didn't seem like a gotcha interview. And she's interviewed Tim Dillon, Ryan Long, Chris Stefano. She's talked to a few other comedians. So I don't think that's her angle with this. I think she's just really now seems to be really big into like free speech and anti-censorship and anti-woke. So I didn't get the feeling from her that she was trying to make me look bad. She was like, are you part of QAnon? And I'm like, no. But yeah, I'm excited to see how that turns out because she'll be probably editing a little bit. I was rambling. Anyway, yeah. I'm so excited to have this gal on the podcast today. Oh, but before I introduce her, quick shout out to our sponsor, Cushy Dreams. They are my go-to. I literally just keep my sponsor information in a box next to my desk. They are my go-to for CBD products. They offer a full lineup of premium smokable CBD. They specialize in bud and CBD joints. I personally really love the joints because you can buy them in packs of 5. This thing is very tidy. The packaging is on point. This just fits in your purse, your pocket, whatever. What's good about Cushy Dreams is they have different indica sativa blends. So if you want to be a little bit more up, I think that's an indica. And if you want to be a little bit more relaxed, you do sativa. So they've got like create, energy, relax, hustle, dream, so many different blends to choose from to kind of go with whatever you want to do with your day. You can enjoy all the health benefits of CBD without getting high. There's under 0.3% THC in all these products. It's cannabis. It ships directly to you. It's legal in all 50 states. You can join the men and women who are sick of vapes and gummies and want to smoke their CBD. It looks, feels, smells just like high quality marijuana, but it's not. You're not going to get high. Here's the website. Wow, check it out. 100% hand trimmed, never machine trimmed. They take the artisan approach. Every run is in a small batch. They do tons of independent lab tests to show compliance and purity. And you can check all this out on their website, cushydreams.com, Kushy dreams.com. Best of all, it's grown here in the USA. So go to cushydreams.com and get some high quality CBD bud at checkout. Use promo code CMP to get 20% off every order. Okay. I'm excited to have this gal back on the podcast today. She's been on a few episodes, but they've all been collaborations. They've all been like, it was her and Eliza Blue. It was her and Harley Dean. So I've never just had her by herself. So I'm really excited that she could squeeze me in today so we can chat and catch each other up. She's a YouTuber. She's a streamer. She's super duper hot. It's Brittany Venti. Hi. How are you, Brittany?
I'm good. I appreciate the compliment in the intro.
Of course. I've been following your Brittany Wears Instagram page. It's pretty inspiring.
Yeah, how so?
Because you put outfits together. It's especially now in this like post pandemic time. I feel like a lot of us have gotten like, well, what's the point? Who's going to see me? You know, maybe people's lives haven't really kicked back into gear again. And it's a good reminder, like, yeah, dress up, like give a shit, put a fun outfit together, you know, do it for yourself, do it for the gram. There's always somebody, you know, that's going to watch and appreciate it. I used to be like pre-pandemic. I was very, very like, I had a lot more clothes. I think I did a few like Marie Kondos, like where I would go. You're supposed to take everything out of your closet, put it on your bed, everything out of everywhere, even like, you know, the winter closet, everything has to go on your bed. And you're supposed to go through. Have you done this, Brittany? And each piece that doesn't spark joy, you have to be like, thank you, shirt. And then you pass it on. I don't know, put it in a bag and send it away.
Yeah, I kind of cycle through my clothes a lot. By the way, is my mic okay? I saw people in the chat saying that it was low.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe you could bump it up to be a little louder.
Okay, I have it on max right now.
A little less, because it's picking up a little bit of like ambient.
How about that?
Oh, can you do a little louder in between?
Right there.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
Like Goldilocks.
Yeah, you're such a like a delicate, like soft-spoken flower that sometimes you need a little boosty boost. Oh my God, a super chat all ready from Unique. Start in OnlyFans. Wow.
You know, you always get these type of messages. My cats are fighting. Stop it!
How many cats do you have?
2. They get into fights sometimes. Sometimes I have to break them up. But yeah, in regard to the super chat, start in OnlyFans, a lot of women are pressured into OnlyFans because of men telling them to open one, and then they don't know any better. And they're like, oh, it's basically free money with no consequences, no long-term consequences whatsoever. And everyone's doing it. So like some girls actually fall for it.
So and I don't know that some of these men maybe, you know, of course, we all know what they want to see. But I think a lot of men maybe don't understand. Like they might have good intentions, like, hey, you're leaving a lot of money on the table here. But I think what they don't realize is like the content from OnlyFans can be copied and put really probably anywhere, you know, if Reddit is any indication of what can be leaked. I don't know. But I could definitely see like if I were in a desperate spot, not now, maybe when I was younger, I probably, there's a timeline where I have joined OnlyFans.
Yeah, because that's kind of what the problem is, and why I think it's exploitative is because of the fact that it's so enticing for people that don't have other options. And that's usually why a lot of the time people turn to it. People also turn to it out of like mental illness, coming from broken homes and wanting validation, things like that too, or if they're sex trafficked, which means it doesn't have to do with them getting kidnapped. It has to do with them being manipulated or coerced, and people don't realize what the term actually means.
Because when you hear the term sex trafficking, you think like, oh, you're just sitting in traffic with cars full of kids and women. No, that's just, maybe that's what I picture. But yeah, it's not necessarily you getting thrown in a van driving across country. Right. It's like, it's just there's coercion there.
Yeah, there's no travel necessary. It's not just like when women try to get in their car. Oh my God.
I want to see these cats now.
Here's one of them. Had to just break up that.
I thought that was a throw pillow. Oh my goodness. Hello, Fluffy. What's your name?
Petals.
Petals?
Yeah.
Oh, she's so cute. Do you have to brush her a lot?
Not too much, actually. She's not
I'd be worried with a white cat. I would get stuff on it. Like I would stain them, like with white clothes, you know? You lean up against something, you're like, ah.
Yeah, I made the poor choice of getting a black and white cat and then also a white cat. So it's like, oh, you can't stick to either color to like prevent the cat hair from showing.
Oh, right. Because the white hair shows up on anything dark and the dark hair shows up on anything light.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone's saying in the chat, yeah, the Karen Feehan predicament. Like that was a comic who she has a great body. She's one of these people who doesn't give a fuck. It's also like OnlyFans is not her only source of income. And she's dated men who have been like, hey, would you just like get off of this for me? Which I totally understand. And she's been like on and off of OnlyFans, but that's an example of somebody who her stuff was very much leaked onto Reddit.
When you join these sort of like anything related to prostitution in general, which is the term I use for sex work, it's just a politically incorrect version of the term. And sex work is politically correct, and they use it to try to normalize it because it sounds better. But the risk of doing that is obviously when you're making it sound better and more enticing, more people are going to do it, and they're going to be participating in something that's self-harm and also harm to other people, like the men watching. It's very harmful to them too and affects their relationships. But anyway, my point was that when you join any sort of prostitution, even if it's online, it's hard to get out of it. And I think a good example of that is Mia Khalifa. Like you sort of see her crying over it on TikTok, regretting it, talking about the stuff she went through. I know she lied about some stuff or some stuff was inaccurate, but I'm sure at least some of it's true in terms of how she was treated and how other people treat her because she did porn. And then, she still had like a lewd OnlyFans afterward and stuff like that. So it's really hard to cold turkey it and just stop doing it. And I've seen this for girls that I even knew. I watched the whole thing happen where they would start out as a streamer, then they would go into OnlyFans because their viewers tell them to start an OnlyFans. And then they kind of hurt then they kind of start complaining about why they're not married or why they can't get a boyfriend and things like that. And then maybe they'll try to stop and then they can't stop and they have to go back to it. It's like an addiction, like when you have a relapse, relapse.
Yeah, it sounds like, Brittany, you're talking about a drug. Like once you try it, like I look at people like on the ground in New York City, I'm like, heroin must be pretty damn good if it's worth throwing your whole life away. And I wonder if it's like OnlyFans. I mean, you're not gonna like instantly die like you could. I don't know. Maybe this is a terrible metaphor. I should stop talking about drugs. But like, is the easy money so good that you're just like, wow, I can get this with very little work. Why would I not do it ever again?
Yeah, I mean, that's the appeal to it. That's why it's enticing. Excuse me. I don't have a burp button. Sorry.
It's okay. I know the deal now. Yeah. I didn't know this about Mia Khalifa because I don't know if she was a stripper first. No, she was maybe just TikTok. And then, or did she start as a streamer?
Mia Khalifa started as so the deal is when porn stars go to do what they do, a lot of the time they don't start out trying to make a career in porn. They start out thinking like, oh, nobody's ever going to see this and it's a easy $5,000. I use easy in terms of like it's low skill. It's not easy in the sense that you get a lot of repercussions afterward, including mental illness, if they didn't already have it before to consent to such self-harm. So they think like, oh, it'll just be swept under the rug. Nobody's even going to see this. It doesn't even matter. And I'm pretty sure that's what happened with her. Like, she didn't know how much it would blow up and how controversial her porn in particular would be, because it was something about it was offensive to Islam, and that's why people got mad and went viral. So,
yeah, I was wondering why she in particular blew up. I'm like, oh, is it because she was like girl next door?
No, it's because it was offensive, apparently. I haven't watched the content. That's what I've heard her say in interviews.
Wow. And then so she tried to get out of it, tried to get out of porn, but then started an OnlyFans, and then the money there was so good. I get it. Yeah.
And like I said, there were girls I knew. They started. They were even some of these girls. What's even more shocking is that some people do it because it's so easy when you don't have skills to make money like that. But some of these girls were talented. Like one girl, she was really funny. Like I would consider her a funny female, and she was very creative. And she started.
Do you remember her name?
Her old name was Emma Adorable. I don't know. And then she went by Emia, and then she changed her name a bunch of times.
Wow.
I don't know if that's to do with the OnlyFans. But then there was another girl named Cellutron was her old name. Her name's Robin. I don't know her current Twitch name, but she was super talented. She used to draw these like she used to have a lot of pets like fish and those types of animals like that go in a tank. Yeah, exactly. And it was like her whole hobby, and it was really unique. It was really cool. And she used to draw them and use like a special technique where she would go and paint, but then like in MS Paint, she would make it look really good by like doing like really detailed dots. And she had her own niche. She had it going on. She was a great artist, really creative. Turned to OnlyFans. I think in her case though, it was because one time she had accidentally turned on her stream. Like you could tell she was startled. It was on accident. And she was buck naked. Like, because your OBS can do that. Like back in the day, there's a default command. Like you would press it and you didn't know that was it to turn it on, and it would turn on. That's happened to me before too. So she was like, oh my God, like covering herself and turning off the stream. And then it blew up on Reddit. And then next thing you know, she had OnlyFans. So she was probably trying to take like power back, right?
Unless that was totally planned.
Yeah.
Like brilliant like accident.
Exactly. Yeah.
What was her name again? I want to look her up. The fish girl.
Her old name was Cellutron, but her current name is Robin. It's spelled with a Y. I don't remember her on Twitter. But she's an example. And she was dating a Twitch streamer at one point. I think she was dating Asmongold, if I remember correctly. This is so long ago. Like trying to access the memories.
I tried to Google it, but just cars came up. If anybody can find it, throw it in the chat. Oh, here's a super chat from Bill Stevens. Smart girls are sexier. Smart girls are sexier than pretty ones. I don't know why I have to read it like that. Chrissy seems like a smart gal. She can tell funny jokes. Brittany could be one. Brittany is one.
Oh my God, please tell me. How can I make you like me? I'll do anything.
How can Brittany improve?
I'll do anything. I'll pull my shirt down. Tell me what you want, and I'll just do it. Okay.
Pull your shirt down. That's the only thing that's missing. Interesting. Yeah, I like the way you talk about it, Brittany. It's because I think some people would say that your takes are like too extreme. Like you're like, oh, it leads to mental, like porn and OnlyFans can lead to mental illness, and that, if you have a proclivity towards doing porn or OnlyFans, maybe you already have some sort of mental. I mean, nobody's saying that I've heard.
There's a few people now that speak out. Like John Doyle spoke out against it, but I don't know if he does it in the same way.
He goes into detail about the effects that it has on men, which was very eye-opening. He did it's 2 hours long. I still haven't watched the whole thing, but a few months ago he did a 2-hour-long show about just the really in-depth effect like watching porn can have. Like, I think he focused on the male brain, that it really changes your brain chemistry, obviously for the worse. And it was fascinating. Like, he was very well researched and backed it all up. So if you're curious, check it out.
His video on it was absolutely great. I've used it for my own research too. But yeah, I guess I tend to go from the angle of like this harms women because I'm a woman and I see it through that lens. But I also do mention sometimes like, hey, it's not good for men either. And it's like your kids, your sons are going to become addicted and it's going to affect their relationships, like how they view intimacy, and to a severe degree. It's like you have like 95% of men or something in America watching porn. It's like at least 90%.
Well, it's quick, it's easy to find. There's so much of it that's free. You don't need to like spend any money to sort of get all your needs met. And I think, you don't really know that it's a problem until you're already seeing the negative effects, until you're like, oh, I have no sex drive, or like, I can't keep it up, or like, I don't know. And I don't know if men are able to compartmentalize, like they'll watch porn, they'll get off to like whoever they're looking at, and then they can be like, okay, now I'm with my wife or girlfriend, and I can really just focus on her. Maybe they can. But I guess if I knew the guy I was with was watching a lot of porn, I'd be like, oh, are they just picturing somebody else anytime that we're intimate? It might start to fuck with me. I don't know. Maybe that's like a low self-esteem thing. But
I don't think it is. I think a lot of people say that as a way to kind of like, oh, I'm gonna tell you your low self-esteem so I can keep watching porn. I think that's kind of how it goes.
yeah, like that's the perfect response. Like you should think more of yourself. Anyway, back to Nicole Aniston.
Yeah, and it also has other effects aside from just like the aspect of it causing depression potentially because it's burning out your receptors in your brain. It causes brain changes. Literally, it damages your brain. There's also the angle that there's exceptionally strong correlation between porn use and rape rates.
Hmm.
And a lot of people say correlation, causation, blah, 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 whatever. But this in this case, it's correlational, and it's the connection's been established innumerable times, longitudinally and cross-sectionally, and after controlling for major factors and confounding variables, and mainly why causation cannot always be inferred. So basically, this one goes into what happened in Hawaii and Oklahoma County. So in in uh, in Hawaii in 1974, restrictions were placed on the sale of pornographic material. Rape figures fell for the following 2 years. The restrictions were then lifted, and rape immediately increased. In Oklahoma County, adult stores were closed in 1985, and a 25% decrease in rape rates occurred over the next 5 years, 1985 through 1990, and the remainder of Oklahoma. And so that was like a natural test done. So that goes to show. And there's a lot of statistics on that, on it causing violence in general, especially against women. So this one, an example. According to a study of domestic violence victims, battery cases include sexual violence when pornography is involved. The batter's use of pornography and alcohol significantly increases a battered woman's odds of being sexually abused. And pornography has been shown to have a role in rape cases. In one study, 193 cases of rape, 24% of the rapists mentioned allusions to pornographic material. And in one of the statistics of this, porn was not mentioned to them. Like they brought it up. Like men that are battering women and raping them.
So is the idea like, well, if you watch so much porn and like you're almost programmed with like sex comes easily to guys, and whatever fantasy you want, you can dial it up and watch it, any variety. It's all out there. And do you think that translates like, well, if that's not coming to you as easily IRL, then you get mad and you're like, well, what the fuck?
I think it makes them develop crazy fetishes, and there's always like a theme of it's very common to see a theme of violence in porn, like very aggressive, and then they try to reenact that in real life. And I know it sounds like a boomer talking point, but actually that happens, and as you can see from some of the statistics I read.
And that's the thing, is if it contributes to a lack of communication, like I can totally understand if you're somebody who likes to be choke, who likes a little bit of rough sex, like, but you got to make sure you have that like conversation first. Like it doesn't have to be like this long boring combo, but just like, oh hey, I'm into this, like just checking in. Whereas like if you watch a lot of porn, like, well, you're not seeing those conversations. You're just seeing like whatever the guy wants, he makes it happen, and the girl's just down. Well, yeah, because
Yeah.
she's paid to be down. She's an actress. She's of course she's there to make it look good.
And then there's obviously the cases where it's just like a guy will literally just go out and rape a woman, and because he wants to act out what he saw in porn, where it's not even just like in a relationship, like you just said, where the guy's pressuring the girl and he just like does it without having the conversation. So, and generally, porn changes society's perception. There's a statistic right here. It says positive correlation between an increase in pornography use and the likelihood of adults believing violence against women is acceptable. And there's actually a lot of statistics for that in general. So it does cause violence. It does literally cause rape. It changes people. And that goes to show how it changes people's perceptions and how they view intimacy. It turns into something very gross and negative when it's supposed to be something positive.
Yeah, like as I've gotten older, like I've got the other women, other beautiful women, like maybe when I was in my 20s, I'd feel like a little bit like threatened or jealous, but like I don't know if it's part of getting older. I just like don't anymore. Um, but I wonder if I don't know. Yeah, I don't. I wonder if like guys think, and I'm like, this is obviously such a generality, but foreplay is so important, and like you could get a girl. It depends. Like what I'm down to do is like totally dependent on how turned on I am, and if you don't like take the time to like turn me on, well, of course I'm not going to go for some like wild kink. You know, for me, I feel like the most damaging part of porn is like guys and men end up feeling like, oh, I don't have to like put in the time. I don't have to, like, it's like a one-way thing, you know, I don't have to get to know this person like deep down. I feel like so much talking has to happen before you can have like really good sex. It's like chemistry can only take you so far. Like if you're not properly turning a woman on, like you're not going to go that far. And with porn, it's like you're just not seeing that process of like, yeah, this person's like had a rough day at work and maybe they need to take a bath first, or maybe they need to just like chill and read first. And no, none of this would make for a hot porn, but I just worry that I mean, like women don't get enough foreplay as it is, and then we just don't see much of it at all in a lot of porn. But you know, maybe I just haven't seen all the kinds of porn that are out there. I know that there's a lot of female friendly porn out there. There's a lot of female directors out there. They are trying to make it more kind of inclusive of women's fantasies. But that's just my big concern is like, oh man, like we are foregoing the foreplay.
I think that them trying to be inclusive is just an optical illusion to distract from the fact that it's not ethical at all. And if it were, I mean, like they offer like drugs and alcohol on the porn sets. It's like you got to wonder why that is. But yeah, there's definitely as you were saying, a detachment. Like they are having their reality is kind of warped, and there's actually something I saw that the lowest satisfaction is straight women with
I
men.
believe it. Yeah.
Like the least amount of sexual satisfaction of all combinations, like male to male, female to female. It's cis straight women.
Do you think that's because women are collectively terrible at asking for what they want and they're people pleasers, and it's like they, you know, I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking about myself. Like it's with every guy I've ever been with, it's been very easy for me to get them off, whoever they are. I just figure it out. I feel like I'm
Yeah,
very
guys, it's like 1, 2,
perceptive.
3.
Yeah, like some of them are easy, and then the ones where you're like, oh, they have this thing, you got to work on it. I've always been like, I'm gonna roll up my sleeves and get this done. I'm gonna crack this code. I'm just shooting my own horn.
Yeah, I don't think guys have the same enthusiasm, not just from my experience, but from my other females. And these are attractive women. Like, they're attractive, they're in shape, and they're on the level. They're conservative women. And I see generally a lot of guys aren't very eager to return the favor, so to speak, or to put any effort in like how the woman does for them. I notice that in general. Obviously not every guy. I'm sure some guys care, but I've just seen so much of it. personally.
Yeah, and it almost seems like the guys I've met in my life that have been like, "Oh, I love to go down on women." That's like all they do. It's like, it's like I love pleasing a woman, but it's like, oh man, but you don't have a job. I don't know. Like the guys that I've met that are so into pleasing a woman, it's almost like, okay, that's their one trick. That's their like one. And
Yeah, it's
I
their
don't mean to come off at all
compensation.
like I'm shitting on guys. I love men. We need men. I feel like there's too much anti-man, anti-masculine rhetoric going on. I think it's like part of what's kind of torpedoing this country a little bit. So I love men. I feel like we should support and rise men up. And but I just like this porn conversation. Like people in the chat are like, "Oh, it's another anti-porn conversation." There's so much here because it's not just about, oh, are you insecure? Are you not insecure? Can you handle a pretty woman or can you not? Or it's just like, oh man, is this like every decision you make in your adult life? Is the immediate gratification worth what is going to come after that? And if it's not worth it, well, like what do we need to do to like substitute that? Of course, nobody wants guys, not turned on. We don't want guys to like not have fun and not like get their needs met, of course. But like if porn is a thing that is a net negative in your life, how can you recognize that and I guess remedy it while still keeping things fun?
I think that you should be able to be fulfilled by the romance and intimacy you have with the other person. I think it's something's kind of wrong foundationally if you feel the need to go to the external for those sorts of things. Also, in regards to the men get enough hate comment, I agree that the media definitely does it over the top and it's too much and it affects how men are because of what they're receiving. It's kind of like they're trying to tell them to self-hate, right? And that's wrong. But I have to say, as a female online, how men feel from what the media says and does about them is how I feel as a woman online because of what the men say to me. Like how they feel with the media is how I feel with a certain like demographic of men, not all of them, obviously.
Like
Some of
just
them are very
too much hate coming your way, too much like being kind of pushed down. You mean like, oh,
yeah,
like
it's
nothing
like
you do is right. You can't
yeah,
win,
very critical, overly critical, and then with male counterparts, they're not as critical of them. Um, so I noticed that,
Who
and
do you
I
feel like is the
definitely,
most critical of you online?
honestly, like it feels like I just get it from both sides, like pretty strongly, but even more from the right, I would say, because the left kind of like more leaves me alone. They're just like and they don't pay attention, right? But then the people on the right are like always, uptight. Their
I wonder
boobies
if
are
it's
tight.
because you're so, and this is a thing that I know. I mean, like you're really pretty and you're put together and you're in great shape. I'm sure there's guys who look at your content and they like wish that you could show more and you're not going to, and that frustrates them. And they're like, oh, why is Brittany? Why is she such a cock
Yeah, that's
tease?
a lot of it. That's a lot of it. They get upset when you don't pander to them. So definitely a portion of people on the right want a handmaiden. They want a maid instead of a wife. They kind of have this cartoonish idea of what a woman is. It's like, oh, she should have no opinions and then just like wipe my ass and
Be
clean
like
up
a
after
mom,
me.
basically. Like
Yeah,
you're a substitute
exactly.
mother, and like God, who wants to sign up for that? Especially if you're not
Yeah.
a person who has any kids to begin with.
And it's the whole point is like out of love. You're supposed to be with someone out of love and not from loving the idea of having a maid. And it's pretty warped, it's pretty distorted. So I noticed that a lot. With the dissident right, I guess you would call it.
Oh yeah. Oh, we got a super chat from K Max McDonald. What is your two views on Twitch streamer? What is your what in the what? What is your two views on Twitch streamers that borderline do porn? Amaranth is one who makes tons of money doing this. Isn't Twitch a gaming site? Do we already talk about this?
No.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm aware, obviously. I guess it's a great time to not be on Twitch. It's a great time to be banned on Twitch, so I don't have to deal with this. But I am aware that there's softcore porn on Twitch. I think it's terrible because majority of their viewers statistically last time I checked, are children. Like
Oof.
something like 70% are underage. So they're just going onto the site and they're like going down the pipeline of becoming porn addicts from such a young age. And yet they don't get any of the flack for it. It seems like they're still able to be like considered not a camming site, which I think is wrong. They should be classified as a camming site at this point. If they're going to allow streamers, the only time they're going to ban them is if they shove a microphone up their butthole and fart. That's the only time they're going to ban them. So that's the only.
Is that why you were banned?
No, I was banned because I didn't do that.
Right. I mean, like, are they even checking? Like, could you just not even be playing a video game? You could just be there, like, barely wearing any, like, I don't know. I haven't seen examples of this. Maybe that's what I have to go do is like watch this Twitch softcore porn. But
it's crazy.
Are they like touching themselves? Are they like
microphones?
kind of naked? Oh, it's like sexy ASMR stuff.
They're like sucking their microphones, licking it, like
boy.
Putting on very skimpy clothing in provocative poses, and like putting donation goals. Like if I get this many bits, which is the Twitch currency, if I get this many bits, literally like chatterbait. I'll do this. I'll like moan into the microphone type of thing. It's pretty crazy. But in regard to is Twitch a gaming site, it's not. And it hasn't been for a while. Twitch kind of expanded what they were a few years back, probably like 6 years ago, 5 years ago, where they introduced IRL streaming, which is kind of like what we're doing now. Like people will go on and talk or just talk to their viewers and things like that. So like how YouTube streaming is, they introduced that and a couple of other categories. So it hasn't been just gaming for a while. There was cooking, art introduced there, talk shows, etc.
Okay, yeah. And I'm sure anybody if she's making a lot of money doing this, it's why would she stop, right?
She made like Amaranth made like $50,000, I heard, when she got banned on her OnlyFans, because she only got banned for like a day. So it's like, what is that? That's the publicity stunt at that point. You're not losing anything.
Damn. I mean, that money does sound good.
I don't think money is worth your integrity and soul. I think that's priceless.
So true. Yeah, I told this story before, but like, yeah, I almost like agreed to sign up to like work this like party that I found it on Craigslist. I had to basically probably just show up and like blow a bunch of they weren't old dudes. They're probably comfortably middle-aged, but I was doing like, I did a Skype with them beforehand, just one of them. And then as soon as I saw his face, I was like, oh, I can't do this. You know, like in your mind, you think you can, because you're like, I've hooked up with tons of people I don't care about. Why not get paid? But then when I was just like right there in that moment, I just was like, oh yeah, my soul was like screaming like, no. And then I went in the shower and cried, and I was like, that's fine. I'll go temp for NYU. It's interesting because there is a few gray lines, like gray areas in here. Like somebody in the chat mentioned burlesque, which is, yeah, it's people kind of, it's an old, you know, performance type. It's like, yeah, you're taking off your clothes, it's dance. And then I'm thinking, is there something that we could have like what would you say, Brittany, if there was it's not porn, but it is like almost instructional, like if that, what's your feelings on that? Like something that is fully geared towards maybe helping couples or helping like men and women like just up their game, up their skills, but something where you are, you know, either watching people have sex or watching somebody with like a model doing demonstrations. What do you think of that? And I'm sure this exists, but why would
the other person relationship not just teach you how to please them? I don't see how watching porn would be educational. I saw a comparison made one time in the book that Matthew Fradd wrote about porn. It was an anti-porn book, and he said trying to learn about sex from porn is like trying to learn about health from McDonald's.
Oh.
It's like they
stopped carrying salads. We went the other day. I just like wanted a salad. And they didn't even have salads. So that is a correct metaphor.
That's surprising that they removed that.
I know they weren't terrible. I don't know. Well, here, like when you say that, like, oh, why can't the person you're with just show you? Like, I personally am like, for as much as I'm so open, I still struggle with like showing my boyfriend like what to do. And I don't know why that is or where it comes from, and it's probably just something I need to spend more time on, but like I weirdly get shy when it comes to like telling people what to do. I still feel like my default setting is like, oh, the person should just know.
I get the shyness thing. I definitely relate to that, but you still should be figuring out between you two and not just like going and watching other people have sex. It's kind of weird. Like, so if you take away the computer screen for a second and you were outside, let's say your boyfriend is outside and there's a girl in the window undressing and she's like doing erotic things. She's like massaging her boobs and like winking at him and all that. And he's like in the bush whacking it off, like whacking himself off to it, looking through the window as she's doing this. He would be broken up with so quickly. Like that would be considered cheating so fast. But as soon as it's like, oh, this is in the way. Oh no, now it's different. And I never really got that.
Like in both cases, like with watching somebody in their house or like the screen, it's like, yeah, you're not going to reach out and touch that person. Like lots of people would not qualify that as cheating. They'd be like, oh, this is just there's just something sexy going on and I just can't turn away. I think I guess it's self-control. It's a self-control thing. It's an addiction thing. It's easy. It's like, man, it's so easy to do, because you probably just like get that feeling like, I really want to get off. And you don't have to like risk rejection with it. You don't have to put yourself out there. It's just like a quick hit.
Yeah, the I can understand why somebody would go through that logical process. By the way, to answer your question about what do I think about more like soft core stuff, so we should just refer back to the definition of prostitution, and it's selling sexual activity in exchange. It's like a transaction. You're selling sexual activity for money. There's an agreed transaction going on with that. So if that's going on, if they're paying for that and it's agreed upon, then yeah, it's prostitution. So I understand the history of burlesque. So burlesque started out as like a purely entertainment thing, even comedy. It was women doing comedy wearing like provocative outfits. But then it kind of turned later on into like high-end stripping.
Yeah.
I just think it's stripping with extra feathers, honestly speaking. And people want to say, oh, it's art, as like kind of like a cope. And that's a common cope I see. Like even girls on OnlyFans will say that they consider it art as a way of feeling better about it. And it's like, well, why do you have to call it that to feel better about it? I thought it's good. But, it's like, why do you have to rephrase it? Why do you have to call it sex work? Why do we have to use all these cushiony words if it's so great?
Yeah, honestly, if you're doing burlesque right now, you should be stripping. It's the same thing, and you're not making as much money as you could be for the same thing. Yeah, chat is saying porn is cheating, and seeing some interesting comments in here. Okay, people flirting with others via text, internet, or in person is far closer to cheating than porn. Yeah, that's the emotional like the connection there. What do you think of that?
No, they're both cheating.
They're both cheating.
Yeah, I think they're both very much cheating. One's just the more emotional aspect, and the other is like lust. That's like saying, oh, if a guy goes, and I say guy because it's like guys are stereotyped as being horny and trying to spread their seed everywhere biologically. So if a guy goes and tries to have sex with a woman, he cheats on her, right? He goes to have sex with another woman. And he's like, oh, sorry, babe. I did it because I was really horny. That gets a pass. Suddenly that's not cheating because of the reason, because he's horny. And it's not like, oh, I didn't feel anything for her. My pee-pee was just hard. It's like, no, it's still cheating. What are you talking about? You are being unfaithful. That's what it is. There's a lack of loyalty there.
Yeah. And I do understand, like, guys are able to compartmentalize that. Like, they can totally not love you any less. And I feel like there's women who are that way too, like totally not love their person any less. It's just like this, humans love novelty. And it's like lots of people can do it for you. It's hard. It's freaking hard to be in a relationship. I don't know. It's almost like there's so much that's considered cheating. It's like, how do you not do some of it in your relationship,
With all of the media that's so erotic being shoved down everyone's throats from age 10 online, like kids are seeing porn so early. It is hard, not because it's normalized, but For me personally, it's not hard because that's just something that comes naturally to me, to be faithful, and I expect the other person to do the same, to also give me their eternal love and commitment. And I think that this sort of like giving your intimacy to everyone is anti-romance, and I'm very pro-romance. And I think that prostitution and porn are a war on romance.
So that's what it comes down to, right? Like, and I dated a guy who was he made a lot of points that sounded like this. Like he was very I used to think he was like well, he is pretty controlling, but like in our relationship was bad. It ended, but his big thing was like, oh, I couldn't message even as a friend anybody online. Like he just was like he equated it all to like, oh, you're just giving chunks of yourself away to everybody, you know? And I was like, on one hand, I was a little flattered, like, oh, he wants me all to himself. On the other hand, I'm like, this is just not feasible. Like my job for comedy, like podcasting, like I have to
Yeah,
talk to
I totally get
people.
you because like
Yeah.
it's the same thing with me, right? Like I'm going to have to talk to some people at some point, but even so, like if I'm in a relationship, I'm pretty like careful about that
Yeah.
because obviously guys get really frisky. Like even if you have, I swear to God, when I was a kid, my mom would walk around the street with me, like she has a kid with her. I'm like 7, and guys would hit on her, and it would piss me off. I would like hiss at them. So I'm
Aw. She'd be
autistic,
like, I still got it.
but like they didn't care she had a kid. They wanted it anyway. They don't care if you have a wedding ring. They don't care. So like they're very
True.
some men will be very aggressive about it and go for it anyway. So it's like you as a woman, you really have to be like extra committed to being loyal and faithful because there's opportunity everywhere to cheat. And with guys, that their end of it is like they're biologically programmed to like be promiscuous to spread their seed, right? So you have like the same thing but two different um, angles of it, two different reasons why.
Yeah. And then there are times I feel like, shit, am I biologically programmed to be like just desired by as many dudes as possible? It's a rush. It's like a drug. I have something I've analyzed a lot over the years, and I'm just like, well, there's part of me that really does love attention. That's part of why I do comedy. So it's just like it's just about as you grow older, figuring out like what is your deal? What do you need? Like look under everything and see what's there, you know? Is it like there's always some kind of like deeper need there. Oh, super chat from Alun Reese. No one watches porn for education. It's just to toss one off. I wonder if this person's British. When the wife doesn't want to. Why are you girls not talking about the male porn stars? How sexist. Women toss off to porn too. God, I
They do, but
don't
men
really.
mainly fuel the porn industry. It is mostly men, and they're mostly the consumers. There are some women who buy other women's OnlyFans, and even other gay guys' OnlyFans, like Nick Ocado. He has women that are subscribed to him, like coming on to him, and it was like the grossest thing. He would like post his like small little banana thing. My friend linked. She like took screenshots and showed me like with a spoiler. She was like, prepare yourself, and I clicked it, and then I see the comment under his like it looks like a prune. And then she's like, oh yeah, I would love to suck on that. It's so cute. And I was like, this is a woman who's attracted to men. I don't know if she's straight, but doing that to a gay guy, this is so weird.
So this was a
So
straight woman who was attracted to a gay guy.
I don't know if she was straight. She might have been bi, but yeah,
Okay.
Nick Ocado's gay. He's married or was married. I don't know if he's still married to a guy, but yeah.
Yeah.
And in
Just
regard to male porn stars, by the way,
male porn stars, I feel like, are primarily for gay dudes. Like, check any
there's a
male
big
porn
market.
star's
Yeah.
social media, their comments. It is 95% gay dudes. I know that like all the boyfriends I have that have watched porn, like they prefer to not at all see the dude. Like I think they mostly prefer like keep it POV
But wait,
style.
I thought it was for education, Chrissy.
No, I was asking like, what do you think of a version that's just educational? You know, like could something good come of it? I was just like,
So my answer is going to be no, because not only do porn stars, also male porn stars get ED. They get erectile dysfunction from porn. I
it's
actually
hard.
looked that
It's a
up.
hard life, no pun intended.
because they're told like you have to come at this point, do it this way. Like
everyone's watching you. There's so much pressure. Everyone's whole day is riding on your boner. And yeah, I mean, like, I can't imagine how hard that is, like, mentally. And then, like, how are you supposed to be intimate with somebody outside of your work? It's got to be really, really challenging. Why are you girls not talking about how the male porn stars, how that they're sexist? I don't masturbate to porn. I don't. Maybe once if I have masturbated to porn, it's been because like my boyfriend at the time like wanted me to like kind of just join them. But like porn for me does not get me off. Like I literally just need my own imagination. I know that's so corny, but um yeah, I just don't. I guess I don't like require a lot visually. I have so many fantasies just in my head that I'm good. I never need to watch anything.
Yeah, there's definitely guys in because like I said, there's a theme often. It's very common and popular to be like more violent with the female. Um, and if you look up the most popular categories of porn, you might be a little disturbed at what you find. Because there's some weird ones like alien porn, but then there's other ones where it's like under the what is it called, like teenage porn. Like that's one of the most popular categories. So
Yeah.
like I just think in general porn is inherently exploitative and therefore it can't be utilized for something good or educational because someone's getting hurt in the process anyway. And anytime there's porn, it's going to fuel sex trafficking. And in order to research pornography and prostitution, you have to also research sex trafficking because it's very interlinked. And like I said many times when talking about this, if you watch Pornhub, right, they had a lot of underage girls and even girls that requested it to be taken down because it was a thing of them getting unconsensually touched. And Pornhub wouldn't take it down for weeks until they hire a lawyer, and then they'll take it down. And then Pornhub took down like a million videos that were unverified, meaning they could have been CP, like underage. And even now they don't have, last time I checked, they still don't have a verification process that even requires an ID to upload. So anything's going, and that's if Pornhub is one of the biggest sites, the biggest, like last year at least, can you imagine what's going on all the other sites?
Yeah, it's just there's so much money to be made off of it. It's like the idea of like the quick fix, like the quick buck versus like how is this going to affect your life, your values, your relationships over time. It's like gambling.
Yeah, it's similar to gambling in the way that it's not a material addiction and it ruins lives and it's hard to recover from. Gambling has one of the, I think, the lowest recovery rate. Like people relapse from it more than drugs, which is wild because it's not even a substance.
I remember there was like a time years ago. It was like after like a really bad breakup, but I was definitely hooking up a lot. But I remember I was like masturbating a ton, like with no issue, maybe like 10 times a day. Like it got very addictive. And I found like as my career took off, as I started working harder on my goals, like not that I forgot about sex, but it just was like, I don't know, I was excited to see my career growing and other things picking up that I just was like, maybe I was using it as a distraction, but I just was like not thinking of it as much. Not that I'm like any less sexual of a person or like, oh, you're boring now. But like, you're like, oh, wow. I'm like, you want to maybe it's getting older. You're like, I want to make more money. I want to like crush it. I want to like get my goals. I want to grow my business. So maybe it's about having like other positive focuses in your life. And then that's not the only thing that makes you happy.
Yeah, I think you're definitely onto something with that because porn takes up a lot of time. Like I think I have something on my phone about this, about porn consumption.
Ooh, we have a super chat while you're looking that up. The Hammer of Light. Ooh, thank you for the $10. Don't forget, it affects the brain too. The delta FOSB. Oh, this sounds
delta
technical.
phosphate.
The delta phosphate nucleus accumbens. Oh, this is getting very technical. Nucleus accumbens and the mesolimbic pathway VTA all the way to the hippocampus and PF cortex. What are you, a scientist? Are damaged and changed physiologically by porn.
Yeah, I can actually
Ooh.
explain that. I have that in my notes. So
Somebody's smart.
delta phosphate activates a specific set of genes to chemically alter the chemical circuitry in your brain to remember and repeat behaviors. Delta phosphate accumulates every single time you watch porn. And just like how a heroin addict is triggered by the sight of needles and alcoholics are by the scent of alcohol, porn also has triggers and association even by seemingly unrelated things in life. And overstimulation is not sustainable. And delta phosphate can be reversed over time, but the neural pathways are potentially permanent, just
Whoa.
like a drug addict relapsing.
So it's like you're burning out that part of your brain. Like a girl, you'll never get a boner from a girl smiling at you ever again. Like that's what it sounds like. It will just take so much more to get you activated, turned on, excited. It's sad.
Yeah,
That sounds kind
because
of sad. Like it's ruining regular kind of wholesome shit for you. It's ruining like simple romantic gestures.
you go down. It's just like a drug in the sense that the more you watch it, the more you need it, and the more you need a harder and harder hit every time, right? So it's a progression of you watching more and more extreme content, and that's why it fuels sex trafficking. Because then a lot of time people will go down the line and get to porn that will normalize infantile behavior and things like wearing diapers or like a child or literally watching teen porn, things like that. And you become addicted to it. You can literally become a predator through watching porn. You could also develop mental illness. You could also like, I don't know. So I've heard some people say like you become trans through watching porn. People
What?
say
Wow,
that
I guess it depends on
because it's hypersexuality.
anything is possible, right? Like if you are confused and you have a little bit of gender dysmorphia going on and you are kind of like easily led, of course, I'm sure there's porn out there that would be just like
Yeah, because
conversations with certain people could turn you that way, you know? Oh, this will be the solution.
yeah. Also, in regard to the porn consumption statistics, just for perspective on how much people watch porn, how much time it wastes a lot of time. Data from Pew Internet and American Life Project suggests that 70% of 15 through 17-year-old internet users actually view porn somewhat or very often, is how it was surveyed. 43% of those surveyed started to view porn between ages 11 and 13, so children are watching it. And 47% spend between 30 minutes and 3 hours a day watching porn. And that's
47% of people or men spend between what up to 3 hours you said between 27 minutes?
of the I believe 15 to 17-year-olds that were surveyed.
15 to 17. All right. Yeah. It's
So
like
it's
you don't
even
have a
worse in a
job. You don't
way.
have a job yet. Yeah, but that should be spent on homework. That's your homework time. Damn. It's a lot of yeah, that's when you get your own room so you can lock the door and just masturbate the night away.
Yeah, I mean, people watch it. Some people watch it like at least twice a day, and it's like normal to them, right? Think about how much time that's wasting. That you could be doing other
Yeah.
stuff that
It
could
does waste a
not
lot of time.
give you
It
brain
is
damage.
yeah, I just remember like I would always be like, "Oh, I want a distraction for what I'm doing. Like, I want to not think about that. I would just go like, you're just like, I'll just knock one out really quick. Turn on the
Yeah, it's
vibrator.
like
Feels,
laziness.
yeah, feels good. For 5, 10 minutes. And then you're like, I'll just do one more. I'll just do one more. And then you're like, oh man, now an hour went by and I still have to do the thing that I was avoiding.
Yeah.
Eh, this is what oh, I'm looking at oh, wow. I saw in the chat, Ron Pillay, an old improv buddy. What's up, Ron? Wow.
Um, I would like to read a couple of porn star stories that I found in terms of like people are like, oh, they choose to do it's consensual, even though in my opinion, you can't really consent to something if you don't know what you're consenting to, and if you're not in a healthy state of mind to consent to it. It's kind of how consent works in the first place. But so, for example, I got this from The Porn Myth by Matt Fradd, and
There's a
this one's
book?
from
The
yeah, it's a
porn
book,
myth?
and it had a few
Ooh.
experiences from porn stars
Okay,
in
I'm
the
writing it
book
down.
and what they say. It's a very good book.
Ooh. Okay.
So Corona Taylor says, during the scene with the male porn star, I yelled at him to stop and scream no over and over, but he would not stop. The pain became too much and I was in shock. My body went limp. I couldn't fight him off anymore. After the scene, they wouldn't give me a ride home. I called a taxi and went to a medical clinic to check me out due to the severe pain I was in. A day later, I received a phone call from Vince to keep my mouth shut about the rape. So she considers it rape, even though she was paid to do it. And a lot of prostitutes, if you, so Paid For My Journey Through Prostitution is a book, and it mentions this, that some prostitutes, former prostitutes, refer to it as paid rape. So this is an example of that. He threatened me that he threatened me that I didn't know who I was messing with and that his edited footage of what happened could prove me a liar. So I think it's obvious to see why they need drugs and alcohol on the porn set. It's not very hot. I don't know how men are masturbating to this, or women are masturbating to this, like knowing that people are being taken advantage of.
Well, you don't see that part, right? Like they edit all that, the icky stuff out. And, it's like when I've been to podcast sets where they have, weed and drinks out. So it's like, okay, there are instances where like the presence of those substances is not, it does help you like loosen up a little bit. And maybe if you're anxious, sometimes I'll have a drink before I do a show, but, yeah, it's like you got to use that stuff responsibly. Of course, if it's like on a porn set, you're like, all right.
But a lot of rape does happen through, in general, not just with porn, like through alcohol. Like that's why women always have to be careful about their drinks. Keep your drink by you. Put your hand over your drink. All these little tricks. I don't know if men.
That's why I'm always just leaving my drink out and walking away. I'm just like, I'm gonna make sure I still got it.
You like to play. It's like maybe you want to like spin the wheel of fortune, have a little fun, like leave your drink unattended.
Yeah. Come back, see if something's dissolving in it. Be like, oh, somebody likes me here. Look at that.
Yeah. So, but what I'm getting at is that, people go to a party, they get drunk, and then they get taken advantage of. And then a lot of time, like people call that rape. So I don't see why it shouldn't also be called rape in this setting either, because like the alcohol hinders their ability to actually consent, right? To say like, stop, I don't want this.
Yeah, it'd be one thing if they brought their own alcohol to set. Then they're like, oh, this is just something I need. Like, I like to have a drink before a scene. Like, I feel that. But if like, yeah, you get there and you're like, here, have a drink. Rocket Bronson, thanks for the super chat. It's awful. There's a complete disconnect from the individual who watches and the ones who acts in porn. Prawn. These are real people being treated as commodities. No love, just dust.
Yeah, it's very empty affection. It's like empty validation, very surface level. They're looking for that deep love, but they're not going to get it from horny men online. And horny men online, you're not going to get love from these girls that are like mentally damaged and having to do this for money. They're not going to love you either. So it goes both ways. Like nobody's actually getting satisfaction from this, and they're not getting it's delayed gratification versus short term, right?
It's like a quick fix on both sides, because if you look back, go way back to very traditional values, like, yeah, your husband would be your sole source of income, of money, and like for men, like your wife would be your sole source of booty. And then it's like now it's like you fast forward all the way to 2021, like what are we still doing? Men are still looking for that reliable source of booty, and women are still looking for that reliable source of money. It's like, it's just, we've detached from the traditional roles. Like we're so free now, but we're still looking for the same things. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rocket.
But yeah, overall, I think that we should outlaw it.
Did I say quick fist? I meant quick fix. I'm thinking about porn too much.
Got a dirty mind.
Got a dirty mind now.
But yeah, I think it just takes advantage of people, and especially vulnerable people are drawn to it. So I think it should be outlawed completely. I think it should be abolished. And I know people are like, oh, it's going to happen anyway. Okay, but so does CP, and we don't allow that. We don't make that legal. So I don't really see how that's argument, or that it's the oldest profession. It's like, no, you mean slavery. And prostitution is sexual slavery. So, we don't just say, oh, since slavery is the oldest thing, we should have it and encourage it and say it's empowering. when it's not. Becoming someone's property is not empowering. Women shouldn't be for sale, and especially not when it fuels sex trafficking. And by the way, I want to clarify really quick. Sex trafficking also includes when minors are forced, or even if they're saying yes, it doesn't count. It's not consent, because minors can't consent, because they're not in a mental state too. So when minors are doing porn or like anything sexual like that, it's considered sex trafficking.
Right, because they're not like their brains aren't developed. They don't have as much agency as a grown ass person.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know if you ever see this. Like, do you ever see like girls on OnlyFans telling other girls to do it? Like, it's not just guys pressuring it, but also other women like telling other women to do it, kind of egging them on.
I've had friends of mine on OnlyFans being like, "You have to do it." I mean, if they're friends of yours, maybe it does come from this place of like, I have made so much money doing this, and like, it makes me feel good, and I want the same for you, friend. Like, friend who struggles with money, yeah, like you should do this too. But
Yeah,
it
maybe
does
it comes
seem a
from that
little like,
place.
right, and then you look at like Ghislaine Maxwell, who that was her whole deal, is to just like trick girls and women to like get on board.
Yeah, I think definitely some women do it out of like, oh, I don't know the consequences. It seems really good, so you should do it too. But other women, they do it kind of like for selfish reasons, I notice. And for example, on YouTube, you have all these women that are like shilling their OnlyFans, and they're like, it's so great. Look how much money I make. This is how you do it. And click my referral link, wink, wink. And they're like,
Hmm.
doing this on an unage restricted video. So kids are watching this and they're able to click the link and they're being told to do porn. That's literally sex trafficking,
Uh,
because you're manipulating them. You're saying, oh, look at all these good things about porn. You should do it. Here's my link. Wink, wink. You're underage. That's sex trafficking. And it's happening right on YouTube. And it's
That's
from
so
women.
scary. It's like you have to really watch what your kids are watching, just like crazy parental controls everywhere. It's so, I don't know, it's crazy. I don't have a kid yet, but it's like, oh, I feel like it's so scary. It must be so scary for parents because
Yeah,
there's so
imagine.
many things pulling at, raising your kid other than you.
Yeah, it's kind of discouraging to have kids because of that. Like, imagine your daughter's just on YouTube and she's like getting brainwashed by these women online who got memed into doing porn and prostituting themselves, and they don't really have much of a future outside of that in a lot of cases. And your daughter's just like, yeah, this is great. I'm going to do this. And then, like, in some cases, they will, even if they're underage, they'll click the link, get a fake ID. OnlyFans approves it. It's happened before. It's been covered in the news before. And your kid's now in sex trafficking. They're being sex trafficked. They're underage and they're doing OnlyFans because their influencer told them it's cool and look how much stuff you get.
Oh yeah. Oh, you get stuff. That would have been very tempting for me as a kid with no allowance, who was always like, oh, I don't get any allowance. I don't have any money for stuff. I just want to buy earrings from Claire's at the mall. But yeah, I think just because like you and I are talking about this, it's like it would never happen if we had kids because it's like top of mind. I think it's the parents that are like, "Oh, my kid would never," and they just don't look into it. They stick their head in the sand. Like those are the kids who end up wrapped up into it. And if they're kind of being ignored, they're not getting enough attention and like validation from their family. It's like, yeah, you're gonna look for it
Yeah, it's like
elsewhere.
dysfunction, and then that's what makes them attracted to it. Like Venus Angelic, do you know her?
No.
She's an old school YouTuber. In fact, she was like one of the first weeaboos. She was like the blueprint of the female, like e-girl weeaboo. And she did Lolita, and she did a lot of makeup tutorials and things like that. Her mom had coerced her into doing. I'm sure she likes Lolita and doing makeup, but her mom was very controlling with the content and like said you have to do this type of thing, and she would abuse her behind the scenes. Apparently, in one video, she talked about how her mom threw a knife at her, and then she threw it so hard that the knife got stuck in the wall. So she's
Jesus.
coming from a dysfunctional home, right? Her mom's super controlling, not letting her date guys because she wants to preserve her innocent image. And she ends up running away from her mom because of this, not letting her date a guy at like 19. She gets married to him, and then it doesn't work out because she's just like, doing it to rebel or whatever. And then she turns to OnlyFans. She opened one up, and everyone was shocked because she's like this cute little skinny girl that's innocent. Her whole brand was being innocent. And as it is with Asian culture, cute and innocence is very appealing. And she's not Asian. She's like Northern European, but she's like weeby. She likes the culture.
Mhm.
And when she opened the OnlyFans, she was like, yeah, my therapist said it was fine. And now she's having this huge downward spiral of like becoming an alcoholic, abusing drugs to cope with it, obviously. And like she's not in a happy place at all. And it's really sad to watch. And people think there's not mental consequences of doing that, but there definitely is. And there's examples already. Like you're going to see in like 5 years, there's going to be statistics about the mental issues it caused, just like with prostitution when they were in the streets. The risk factor of getting physically hurt is gone, but all the other stuff is still kind of there.
Yeah, like in the sense that like porn could train a man's brain to like get that quick fix, like that quick off, right? I feel like OnlyFans could be training like a woman's brain to be like, no, this is how you get your validation. This is how you feel good about yourself. And if you
Yeah.
don't have anything to substitute that with, like, how are you ever gonna break free of it?
There was a girl, by the way, who killed herself, and she was on OnlyFans. I'm trying to find her right now.
Yay. Isn't that funny? Somebody's being like, oh, my therapist said it was okay. It's like, yeah, that's how you pay your therapist, and your therapist wants to keep making money off you. So
yeah, they want to make you
surprise.
happy, so you come back. So they just tell you not to be totally against therapy if you need to go or whatever, but it's just that like a lot of therapists do have that thing where they just say whatever and make you happy, so you come back and give them money.
Oh yeah, I had to like formally break up with my therapist. She was never gonna be like, goodbye, you graduated, you're all better now. Ooh, thank you, Brandy, for the super chat. Chrissy, you don't need to watch other people having sex for educational purposes. Take a look. It's in a book. Reading Rainbow. Thanks, Brandy. I would be more inclined to watch people have sex than I would to like watch porn, I think. There's something kind of like more exciting about that. Like maybe like a sort of private orgy situation would be more interesting to me than just like scrolling through porn. I don't know.
I think that kind of makes sense because like one's more real.
Yeah.
So this is, I found it right here. It says Russian porn star and OnlyFans model 29 falls to her death from 22nd story apartment after telling friends she was lonely and wanted to start a family. So yeah,
Aww.
this girl, she just ruined her life, and that can happen.
Yeah, and I wonder, like, there's probably a lot of guys watching this. How many of you single guys watching this would honestly consider like dating like an OnlyFans girl or a porn star? I just wonder, like, I don't know. I think we like to think as humans like we're very accepting and very just down with it, but as much as you might throw them a couple bucks here and there, it's like, would you seriously date and or settle down with somebody who this was their income? I feel like the answer is no on that. Another super chat from Alan Reese. Thank you for the 10. What is that? Pounds? Euros? Oh God, something else I can't pronounce. Ankylosing spondylitis disability. My bone joints are continually sore. Further symptoms, my willy doesn't work most of the time. It's so frustrating being hard for hours without coming. Porn helps. Are you joking me? Is this like a real disability you have? It sounds,
I think he's trolling.
like you're made up.
Super chatting earlier.
I was like, am I going to look this up? Well, good for you, Alan.
But speaking of which, the reason there's a no-fap community, actually, one of the main reasons is because porn can cause erectile dysfunction, and like severely so. Like at young ages, like young men in their 20s and early 30s getting ED from watching too much porn. So it's not just all about the women getting the shitty end of the stick and being exploited. And men are too. Men are sex trafficked too. Little boys are as well. But it's also like, yeah, you can get ED and like just, I don't know. People think they can just like, they're going to be addicted to porn, right? They're going to watch it every day. They're going to watch it twice a day. And then they're going to go and have like a normal functional relationship after. Like they think they're just going to drop it 1, 2, 3. And it's just like, oh, that's not a thing in my life anymore. Usually not. Usually people can't do that.
Because you've been a little bit trained to like, oh, that this is a source of my gratification. And that's what I worry about too, because I feel like some guys are so easy to take advantage of. Like you and I both, we could log off right now. We could both start OnlyFans right now, and we'd probably crush it if we really wanted to. Like we would know
Yep.
exactly what to say, exactly what to do, exactly what to wear, exactly how to look at the camera, and we would crush it, and we'd be able to get so much money out of dudes. And that is precisely why I don't want to do it, because it's like you shouldn't have to trick. Like I feel bad for some of these guys. They love it, they're happy to do it, but some guys, like, maybe they can't afford it. Maybe they feel like, oh, this girl really likes me. Maybe they're spending too much money on OnlyFans and not paying their bills. It's like you could be taking advantage of a type of person who can't, you know what I mean? At a bar, with a bar, you at least have a bartender who's going to cut you off, but nobody's home with you being like, hey, you're spending too much money on porn sites and on OnlyFans.
Oh yeah, that's true. Some people do spend a lot of money. There was a video called Lonely Fans, and it focused on that point about how much men spend and why they spend it on that.
Which is like, fine, if that's what you want to do, great. But yeah, how do you know when to cut it off? Big Joey, thanks for the super chat. Would break up with an OnlyFans girl ASAP. Well, there's the answer. Interesting. I wonder if Big Joey feels like, yeah, she's given too much of it away. Like, where's your intimacy? Like, everybody gets to see all her cute little quirks and body parts. Yeah, thank you guys for listening. If you haven't hit subscribe, I don't know what you're waiting for. Just hit the little subscribe button. Hit my button.
Do you know about iDubbbz, the YouTuber?
iDubbbz? No.
Really? I'm surprised.
iDubbbz?
Yeah. He's a big YouTuber. He's been around a while. He fell off recently because of his girlfriend, who was already kind of a lolcow. Like, she did a lot of stupid, hypocritical stuff.
Lolcat?
Lolcow. Like someone you laugh at. It's like they keep producing milk.
Oh my God. How do I not know these terms?
So she,
you keep me young, Brittany.
So in the past, she was like trying to pander to Reddit, like, I'm a real gamer girl. So she started out with like having like a lot of cleavage and then like standing up, and she would go overboard with it. It wasn't just like, oh, she's wearing a tank top. Like, no, she was like, it was really low, and she would go into the camera like that and stand in the camera for several minutes without sitting down. And it was like uncomfortable. It's like, sit down, like take a seat. And then she had a phase after that where she was like, actually, I am covering up. I'm putting a shirt on. She like made a whole video about it. And everyone on Reddit was like, wow, so brave, amazing. She's a true gamer girl. And then she went right back to it, like wearing really low cut tops and like going into the camera with it, being provocative about it. And then she opened an OnlyFans when she got with, sometime after she got with iDubbbz, the YouTuber. So he got a lot of crap because he had a lot of fans that were kind of like conservative, because he had edgy humor, and that tends to appeal to conservatives and not leftists, right? So they were like, what the hell, you're a cuck, dude. And he was like, you know, there's no magic pussy, like talking about his own girlfriend. Her pussy's not magical, I guess, is like the dream. You want every guy to describe your vagina like that, right?
Yeah, glitter actually comes out of mine. It's kind of a problem. I just cough and it's like, yeah, I wonder why is that? You said conservatives dig edgy humor. I wonder if that's because leftists are like so busy policing thought and language. Like leftists are the new, like, kind of like
offended,
uncool, offended group.
Yeah, it is, definitely. I think so. Depends where on the left, though. Like, obviously, there's some people, like, there's the political compass on the, like, kind of like up towards the middle, but on the left, like, some of those people are edgier, I find.
Yeah.
But, like, the liberals, obviously not.
Alan Rees back with €5. I'm not trolling. It's real. I wouldn't wish ankylosing spondylitis on anyone.
Ankylosing spondylitis.
All right, now we have to look this up.
Oh my God.
We're intrigued, Alan. Ankylosing spondylitis. Okay, I'm looking it up.
But yeah, with iDubbbz,
it comes up. It's a thing.
Oh, it is?
It's a thing. Oh,
what does it say?
It's a type of arthritis in which there is a long-term inflammation of the joints of the spine. Typically, the joints where the spine joins the pelvis are also affected. Occasionally, other joints, such as the shoulders or hips, are involved. Eye and bowel movement problems
It
may
doesn't mention
also occur.
boners. He said it makes him have boners.
Stiff joint stiffness, back pain. Wow. Stiffness of the affected joints generally worsens over time, although the cause of ankylosing spondylitis is unknown. It's believed to involve a combination of genetic and environmental factors. More than 85% of those affected in the UK have a specific human leukocyte antigen known as the HLA-B27 antigen. The underlying mechanism is believed to be autoimmune or autoinflammatory. Diagnosis is based on symptoms from medical imaging and blood tests. Wow, it's a real thing. Well, we're sorry about that. Sorry we
Yeah,
made fun of your
that's really
thing.
shitty. But I have to say, like him saying, "Oh, use porn to make it better." I don't know. It's kind of like a person. It'll be an extreme example because heroin can kill you, but that's like saying, "Oh, I have depression, so I use heroin, and it really helps me." It's like,
yeah, I used to date this bartender. He was like, "I have to do cocaine. I work long nights." I was
oh
like,
my
"Oh,
god.
okay." Yeah, it didn't last. He was shorter than me. I'm okay with short, but he was shorter than I could handle. Another super chat from Dan Halen. Ooh, I wonder if there's any
Dang.
relation to Van. I've dropped friends because they did wish.com porn. I would never date one. Wish.com
Wish.com
porn.
porn.
What is that? Is that
What?
when you just ask for stuff?
Well, Wish.com, from what I remember, was that site that was kind of like AliExpress, but you would buy all this Chinese made stuff for like $1. So just like random gadgets. Like, is that what they do now? Do they sell
Is this
porn?
a thing? Oh God, do I have to Google this? Wish.com porn. Whoops. Now I'm on a list. Wish porn videos. Oh. What? I am now looking at porn. I feel like I was tricked.
So it's real?
I guess it's, yeah, free My Tiny Wish porn videos. What is this? Watch Wish porn videos for free on Pornhub. But what is it? My Tiny Wish.
Like, what about in particular makes him put off by it? By that one in
Yeah, I don't
particular?
know. Wish com porn. Now I'm intrigued. Wow, I'm learning so much from you guys. Well, maybe Dan Halen, you could illuminate this a little further. Thanks for the super chat. Red Monarch glitter. That must be uncomfortable. It is. It's very uncomfortable, but it's good on 4th of July and holidays.
There is a comment I wanted to read by Doomer Girl. It says, "Why should we cry for men that have money and choose to give their money to prostitutes? When you have money, you have more agency than when you do not." Well, obviously, the consequence of being addicted to porn is like not as bad or severe as a girl who's literally being like paid to be raped, right? But we should still show some empathy to the men that struggle with it, because some of them are ignorant to it. They don't realize like what the women are being subject to, that it's, sexual slavery.
Oh, I love this comment too. Yeah, Doomer Girl. We always keep women responsible, but we never keep men responsible. Society would rather blame sexual trafficking victims than blame men.
I do notice that some people do tend to blame the women, and like it's like really easy to just be like, oh, they're whores, and then put none of the blame on men. But it's definitely they're fueling the demand for sure. And obviously we should talk about that, but some men get really uppity when you try to talk about that aspect, because they're like, oh, you're saying it's our fault, but they choose to do it. And then you have to go into the whole thing about consent and like how consent is valid. You have to be in a right state of mind and not be from a dysfunctional home where you can't be in the right state of mind to consent, or a child where you can't be in the right state of mind to consent, or be under the influence and all these things. And people don't want to be sympathetic to women because they're like, why should I feel bad for someone who's making all this money? It's just like celebrities, right? It's like,
why do you feel bad for a drug dealer? Yeah, they're making a ton of money, but they're in a system where they're like putting their life in danger, and it's not sustainable.
Yeah, so I feel empathy for both sides, but obviously women are, in my opinion, getting the worst end of the stick. Obviously, there's some men that are in porn too, though. And there was an interview that was talking about it was porn stars sitting down and talking to the camera, and they were saying like their experiences in porn. They're like, oh yeah, it's great and this is so funny and quirky, blah blah. But then the next scene, it's like, I'm asexual. Yeah, it's definitely weird in bed and like all these things. It's like, gee, I wonder why two of these porn stars are just coincidentally are asexual. They're like what, like 0.1% of the population or something to be asexual
Wow.
sexuality.
It's just
But
like it's work for them and they've detached completely from it and they can't
yeah.
just like have it for themselves. Oh, Dan Halen, back with another super chat. OnlyFans is wish.com porn. It's just low quality,
Oh,
low effort crap like wish.com products.
that's so
Oh, here I am
funny.
Googling it like it's a genre. Oh, wow, that's really funny.
That's hysterical to call it that. Maybe I should start calling it that.
But the reason why OnlyFans thrives is because people get into like a certain personality. And I think that's why like people suggest you and I do it because they're like, oh, if I already like you, I like your personality, you're somebody I want to see kind of naked. Um, that's where it has the edge over just regular ass porn. Is like you're just seeing people you don't really know. You don't know their like heart and mind and soul. But if you are watching a streamer and you're like, oh, I feel like I know this person. Let's take it to the next step and see them kind of naked.
Yeah, but you know, they should think of it from the perspective of like if it was their sister or their mother or their daughter, like would they want some dude telling their daughter, mom or sister to become a prostitute? Probably
Hmm.
not.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people do the whole thing of like, oh, I wouldn't want my girlfriend to do it, but it's okay. But it's like, wait a second, why wouldn't you want your girlfriend to do it if it's okay?
I wonder if it's ultimately more damaging to women because I feel like there are more men who would not ultimately settle down or get married to a woman who has done porn. I feel like men, like, they're
Yeah,
probably okay. You know, like, I feel like women are more forgiving.
yeah.
Women would be like, oh, well, this is just a hot man that, like, a lot of people have desired. A lot of gay men have jerked off to them, sure. Women are way more forgiving. I think men are less forgiving.
There's
And
some simps, but those are low value men. So I think
yeah,
women are just gonna get low value men.
and I
They do
think like
that.
right, a high value dude that's like, no, I want who I want to share like my finances and my future with. I think they would consider a woman who's like done porn to just I don't know. I feel like in their minds they would consider them like kind of used up, which sucks. And I don't feel that way, but I don't know. I feel like men are like, oh, this is my woman, and if they think of their woman as like been passed around or like a lot of people have had to try, they're gonna consider you less valuable, which fucking sucks. But I feel like that's why porn is kind of possibly ultimately worse for women. K Max, thanks for the super chat. What do you both think of the solution to this? Government banning might result in it going underground. What is the best path forward? Yeah, of course it would go underground, and I feel like there'd be
That'd be better though than
even
it being
more.
shoved down kids' throats. That'd be way better.
Hmm.
And it's like, yeah, anything you ban's gonna go underground. So that means we as a society, as a culture, we need to say that it's not okay and that it's damaging to women and women shouldn't be for sale and it's damaging to men and they shouldn't be buying women and becoming addicted and like ruining their perception of what a functional relationship is and how to view women because it literally makes men more violent to women. It makes them rape women more and it fuels sex trafficking. So like we need to put a foot down and say, okay, this is not good for our society. It fuels kids getting hurt, it fuels men getting hurt, it fuels women getting hurt. It needs to stop. It's inherently exploitative. It's not acceptable. Just like with selling your organs, we don't allow people to sell their organs and we as a society say it's not good to do. Same thing with drugs. Like this were a drug addiction, this were like any other addiction, nobody would be like, oh, it's okay, let them do it. Like let them just do crack. You know,
Hmm.
I wouldn't let my girlfriend do crack, but other people can do crack.
Yeah, it's like, do you treat it like drugs? It's just like, I don't know. I don't feel like banning it is even possible. It's just too profitable of an industry.
Yeah, that's why they don't want to ban it, obviously.
Yeah.
I think South Korea banned porn actually. I think they banned Pornhub and
Wow.
that would be a good place to reference that.
Wow. Imagine if like Pornhub and imagine if like OnlyFans was banned. So many people would be like, "Oh shit, I have to get a real job." That would be devastating for like a lot of people I know. Oh, wait, another super chat I missed from Fred Sacco. I have a great personality too, but nobody wants to see this naked. If they do, sickos.
You'd be surprised. Nick
You'd be
Ocado's a top % creator. He's obese. He's gay.
What's his name?
Subscribe to him. Nick Ocado. Nick Ocado, yeah, that's his name. He was a mukbang YouTuber. He's kind of like Trisha Paytas, male Trisha Paytas, where he's like dramatic and cries for entertainment value.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna share this screen because this guy's a little bit fascinating. Yeah, he's like not attractive, but he's all right. I'm gonna bring up his YouTube. This is him, yeah. Volcano.
Yeah. He has another YouTube channel. I think it's called his main one is like Nick Ocado 2 or something.
That's his main one? Huh.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know the lore for that. Nick Ocado 3 or whatever. I think the suggestion came up. It was Nick Ocado 3 or I don't know why he has different number ones.
Yeah, how weird in case it wow, he's got so many freaking followers. What is this? So he's like a mukbanger? Is this what he does?
Yeah, and he like has OnlyFans and he like cries a lot for entertainment value.
Oh, what happened to the men?
It's kind of funny sometimes.
Okay, it's funny.
Yeah, because he's like over the top ridiculous. So it's kind of entertaining, kind of like Trisha.
He's still just talking.
Try Nick Ocado 3. I think that's the one that has all the like crying videos.
Boring.
Actually, I don't even know what to do with it. See what I mean by the shrimp? I feel like I'm losing all this time.
Yes.
Here it is. Wow.
That's the one that's active.
Imagine having like you have 3 YouTube channels. They all have almost 800K subscribers. Wowie. More mukbang. Does he just he has multiple channels that he puts all the same videos on?
I don't know.
Okay, so he just is eating stuff.
Yeah, and he collabs with YouTubers sometimes. But yeah, he has OnlyFans and he posts literally like the worst, grossest photos of like it's just so unappealing. You would never think somebody would want to see it. Like this man's butthole.
Really?
Obese and screaming and crying, but they do. They pay for it and they love it. So men can do it too. It's just like, you know, there's consequences for it.
Who's paying for that though? Like who? I guess gay dudes, right? Like I don't know. Yeah.
Some women too, but yeah, gay dudes.
Yikes. Yep, there's something for everybody. What the fuck is wrong with humanity? Wow. Now I have to balance it and have a pro porn person. I don't know. Part of me is I see both sides of it, and I like have a lot of friends that are porn stars, but I also just worry like what if deep down like I have girl porn star friends that have found like boyfriends, like serious boyfriends, but I worry like what if the ones that really want to find somebody can't, and that's why, and you know, and it just makes me kind of sad for them.
Yeah, I think people should learn to have forgiveness too more for the women or men too who disavow it, like exit that world and disavow it, and not just like continue to put them down for trying to fix their life and do better, because it gives an incentive to not quit, because like, you know, there's no reward for doing so. You're just going to get called names anyway. And so I think that we should be forgiving in those cases.
Brittany, do you masturbate?
No.
Not at all?
No, I'm trying to practice like self-control and things like that. I think it's beneficial to not, because like if you do, because if you do, it demotivates you from like finding somebody because you're gratifying yourself. So I don't want to gratify myself.
You're like a monk. Yeah. I guess I get it, because then if you are, I remember like every once in a while, I think the month of August is when I give up masturbating. I give up my vibrator, which means I'm not doing anything. But
it does. Up your vibrator for Jesus?
Just for myself. Every August, I'm like, you know, I'm just gonna put it aside, see how that goes, see if it helps other areas of my sex life. It hasn't so far, but I can see how like quitting masturbating makes you like more focused on like, I mean, are you with somebody right now, or you're just like stopping? So yeah, I guess whoever you meet now is gonna just get like full blast venti.
Well, I'm abstaining too, so maybe not, because I made a whole video on it yesterday. It's on my second channel called Ladies Restroom. My main one's obviously Brittany Venti. But on Ladies Restroom, I try to like, I think I'm putting more of like the girl-oriented serious videos on there. So there's some fun stuff that I'm like tongue-in-cheek about, but this was more of a serious video, and I was talking about why I'm choosing to abstain. Because people don't seem to understand that you can abstain even if you've already had sex. Like, you don't have to just like continue to self-sabotage. You can choose to correct your behavior if you see something's no longer serving you. And I think it enables delaying marriage. A lot of the time I'm noticing a trend with women. They live with their boyfriends and the boyfriend never proposes because they're getting sex out of them and food out of them anyway. So why would you propose to them?
Totally,
And
that's definitely a thing.
yeah, so I think abstaining can be beneficial, and it helps teach you about delayed gratification. I didn't really grow up with discipline. Like, I didn't have my dad in my life much. And so I feel like I missed out on that lesson about discipline. So I'm having to now at an older age kind of self-teach that.
Yeah. Yeah, me too in a lot of ways. Like there was so much I just didn't, my parents did not talk to me about. Like we never had the sex talk. We never had the like saving money talk. We never had the like managing finances and not getting in debt talk. Like how much of what you make to spend on, just none of that. Like it's wild.
What
It's
age are
wild.
they supposed to teach that? I don't know, because like I was 16 when my mom passed, so she was sick for a while. So I don't know like at what age you're supposed to do that. But my mom definitely didn't go over like financial planning or something. I'm like self-teaching that
Yeah.
now as well.
My sister-in-law, I mean, like my niece and nephew are like 2 and 4 or something, and she's already talking about teaching them that stuff and
Oh wow,
like
that's
piggy
really nice.
banks and like yeah, they have like books where they talk about it. So she's all over it. She's a beast. So all right, cool. This was a good chat, Brittany. Thank you for coming on. I feel like we covered a lot of interesting topics. What's coming up for you? Where can people find you and follow you and all that good stuff?
So I'm on YouTube, youtube.com/Brittany Venti. I also have a website, which is brittanyventi.com, where you can kind of like see all my socials and stuff like that in one place. So it's just easier to click everything. But I have a Twitter I'm active on, Brittany Venti, and I post on there a lot. And yeah, that's pretty much where you'll find everything. I make content, various content, and my second channel, Ladies Restroom, is great for the ladies. But you know, the guys seem to like it too. It seems to be somewhat palatable to men too, apparently, which I wasn't expecting.
Ooh.
So yeah.
Well, yeah, people are always curious about the ladies' restroom.
Oh yeah, and then my Instagram, which you mentioned earlier. I have a Brittany Venti one, but I don't really use that one much. I use the Brittany Wears one where I post my outfits.
I love it. I'm inspired to post more outfits for sure. Brittany, you're a doll. You're a delight. I love talking with you. This was so much fun. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. Sorry, I have to put the like glasses on. I'm like
You get the
on the verge
glare,
of having
right?
a migraine, so I'm
Oh
like
no.
having to black out the light a little bit.
It's okay. You're going to your safe place. Like, I remember it's like the little kid with the sunglasses, like, I'm not, whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to like do coffee or food or something one day.
Yeah.
IRL.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay. Bye, Brittany. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.